Welcome back to League Challenge 5 here for your top cut phase of this VGC tournament here at Cycloturtle Plays. I am Jesus Coronel. That is Dennis Geisler here, excuse me. On that one, we have our first top 8 matchup for our quarterfinals. It's going to be a rematch from, I believe, round 4 between Brian Collins and Brandon Davis. And on top of that, it's a mirror match.
Semi-mirror match. Both players running Psychic Terrain here. Both teams actually have a Psychic Seed on their team, but definitely pretty different teams in terms of how they play out through this terrain.
Yeah, we've seen two different versions of this team. I mean, these two are probably sitting the league partners that probably make same teams together, but they got a different path this time around. Brian Collins on the Sneasler, Mouseful Family of 4, Indeedee, Delphox, Dragapult, and Whimsicott. And Brandon Davis on the Armarouge Indeedee, Abomasnow, Gallade, Ursula the Regular Hisuian, and the Annihilate, and both players have already locked in.
Yeah, they're ready. I mean, I'd imagine they already know what they want to do into each other after they played just a couple rounds earlier.
And I also don't know who won that round. And once we get more details on how we get into this game, because Brandon does have a pure Trick Room mode. The problem with that is that Brian can play into Trick Room should he want to, and he also can play with Tailwind should he want to. Leads coming out, Brandon on the Indeedee Armarouge, Brian on the Mouseful Dragapult.
Yeah, sorry, I got really distracted by Brian's trainer card. It was really cute. It was two Smeargles. I really liked it.
Psychic Seed activates on the Indeedee.
Yeah, you get the Indeedee Psychic Seed. This Maushold is the Population Bomb as the only attacking move set.
Which hits everything except Annihilate.
It sure does, and it feels pretty good to just click right now. I feel like right now I really like this lead for Brian because Population Bomb will just absolutely light up somebody, and you do have the ability with Dragapult to just burn out if you want and do a bunch of damage to both of these Pokemon as well.
Alright, here comes Follow Me from this Indeedee to make sure this Armarouge gets to do its option pretty much unimpeded. This U-turn, not enough knock on the Indeedee. So, although we'll get a pivot out, I think you have to expect Trick Room coming out from Brian, and in comes his own Indeedee because of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing now is that if you can get the other Indeedee out of the way, into that Indeedee, that's interesting. It won't really mean a whole lot because this Trick Room's still going to get out.
Yeah, there is Trick Room from Armarouge.
I kind of would have preferred just the Population Bomb, to be perfectly honest.
But then if you go for the Population, I get that Population Bomb, then it gives Brandon the free option.
Brandon does get to switch something else in at that point, and that is certainly a big deal. I don't know. I can go. I guess I can go either way on it.
All right, Brandon, hard swap this Indeedee to make sure that whatever comes in here, being this Abomasnow, gets in here with a relatively free Trick Room turn. And with the Snow Warning, going to increase its defense with the Snow. Maushold not going to move quite yet. Here's Expanding Force from this big Armarouge.
I don't think that Mousehold's going to move.
Yeah, there goes Maushold on one hit. But Brian recognizes the situation as Life Orb. He's going to eat up on Armarouge's HP and reverses the Trick Room with Indeedee.
Yeah, I had kind of noticed this in the pregame that I wish I had mentioned, is that if Brandon does get Trick Room up, Brian has the ability to just go Trick Room as well and reverse things. The problem here is that I guess now you do have... Like, Brandon does have the ability to bring the Trick Room back up again. And this could end up just being a who ends up with Trick Room last and how much value do you get out of each of these teams while that's happening.
Dragapult comes back in here for Brian. He was hovering over a potential Delphox here. Ooh, we see the Dragon Terra potentially coming out from this Dragapult, which is holding a Choice Band to increase his damage output. He's been really considering what option. Oh yeah, I believe...
Yeah. I mean, in this case, you want to do as much damage as possible as quickly as possible. You want to try to prevent Aurora Veil from getting up and prevent Trick Room from going off again. And all these things that might, like, straight up end the game if you let them go through. And big damage from Dragapult is probably your best option.
Yeah, and we're going to see here this Helping Hand also going to assist in this Dragapult. Getting off the big Dragon Darts damage with the Dragon Terra boost, but this Abomasnow not only is focus dash, but it has a big defense boost, which actually matters here. Will this knock out the Armarouge? It will!
Yeah, and it gets a critical hit. I'm not sure if that was necessary, but critical hit certainly did go down.
Will this be Blizzard? Yes, this will be Blizzard, so we'll knock out the Dragon Bolt right back.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Oh, and the freeze on the Indeedee as well!
See a little excitement from Brandon after that one. I think that's certainly good for certainly good for Brandon, but if you want one Pokemon to get you out of this, Delphox is probably good. You got the Armarouge out of the way.
And Ursaluna is the last one.
It is indeed. You got the Armarouge out of the way, which is the only thing really stopping you from clicking Heat Wave or even Expanding Force the other direction. But I think going for a Heat Wave here could be solid.
I think Expanding Force is safer.
Yeah, I think Expanding Force... It's not that Expanding Force is safer, it's that Expanding Force does more damage. Which I think is...
I mean, the only downside would be Indeedee swapping, but I think that'd be fine. Indeedee tries to go for, I will presume it was probably me, but it's frozen solid.
Yeah.
Here's Delphox going for the Expanding Force. Big damage to both these Pokemon. Not enough on the Ursaluna, but it will take out the Abomasnow. If this is Headlong Rush heading into this Delphox, I think the game's is outright over. No, it's Earthquake. Just as good.
Yeah, I think it's...
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know if there was anything that Ursaluna had that Delphox would take. I don't even know if it would have taken a Facade pre-burn, but it certainly didn't take that, and...
That's
nice
game one to Brandon.
Yeah, nice game by Brandon, game one. The freeze ended up not mattering very much. You see that? I like those Smeargles. They're just so cute.
Well, it looks like Brandon's game of getting Trick Room up has worked, and looking back into Brian's team, he realistically does not have a single Trick Room Pokemon to play with.
I would agree with that, although I would say that having the Indeedee around to reverse the Trick Room can certainly help. I think the big thing here was just that... How do I put it? It didn't necessarily feel like Brian was ever really providing the damage necessary to win the game. There was enough damage to, like, get away key threats, but at the end of the day, there just wasn't, like... There were 2 turns of damage, realistically, that Brian put down, which was the Dragon Darts turn and the Expanding Force turn. And that is 2 attacks the entire game. And I think you need more than that.
Yeah, it's just like, how does Brian get damaged immediately if you know that Follow Me Trick Room's going out turn 1? And
yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that if you go Dragapult, you are going to get those both of the Dragon Darts being redirected straight to the Indeedee, meaning Armarouge can probably escape, meaning there really isn't much that Brian can do. I don't know, like maybe go for a Dire Claw status, but that's really asking for too much.
I guess it does Terra Dragon Darts take down the Indeedee with 2 of them?
That's a tall thing. That's a big ask if you're Dragapult for Brian.
I'm not saying it's not, but it might be the best answer for Brian.
It's going to be Mousel Dragapult again. It's the same leads from both Brandon and Brian for game 2.
Yeah, it sure is. But I think ideally what you do is you like Terra Dragon Dart, because clearly the U-turn didn't work, and the taunt didn't really mean a whole lot.
And it's like you see once again activates onto the Indeedee, which not going to matter right now with the physical attackers on Brian's side. And this is something, you know, I'm just going to personally say this. I think this is the first time I've ever seen Brian run a speed team, and I actually see that maybe Brandon had the advantage the last time they played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I've seen a little bit of like the playing around with the fast expanding force rather than the slow expanding force.
U-turn. Oh, no.
No follow me.
Yeah, no follow me this time. U-turn came out instead of the Dragon Darts. This is a swap out, and it will be the Delphox this time. So is this a straight up launching expanding force plus Trick Room going out from Brandon? Because if it is, then Taunt comes out, so that will prevent the Trick Room part of the turn, but is it expanding force, or is it actually Trick Room from the Armarouge instead of from the Indeedee? It is just expanding force from the Armarouge. Mouse is going to go down. Delphox takes about half, and that means no Trick Room for this first turn.
Yeah, but I think that's totally fine for Brian, because the Trick Room doesn't go up. And as long as the Trick Room doesn't go up, at this point, you want to get your Dragapult and the Delphox out, and you just want to launch out all that damage. You want to hit Expanding Force, you want to hit Dragon Darts, you just want to do as much damage as possible. You could go for U-turn, but
the only issue is you cannot touch Armarouge with Fire type attacks thanks to that Flash Fire ability, which would...
Yeah, I mean, you have to go with Expanding Force, unfortunately, but that's not super unfortunately. I still think it might do enough damage to knock out.
And it also could knock out whatever comes in from the back from Brandon. It's Gallade that comes out.
Gallade does have Wide Guard.
Armarouge protects.
Completely, yeah. Okay, so this Gallade has Wide Guard, which completely shuts down Delphox.
But what happens this turn? Dragon Ball was another U-turn, and into the Indeedee slot. Gallade takes half damage. It might not even get a chance to Wide Guard.
Yeah, actually.
And we're going to go ahead and switch into Brian's last Pokemon, which is, in fact, that Indeedee.
And if it doesn't have a chance to... If the Gallade...
Okay, there you go. Expanding Force. That's going to take out the Gallade.
Yeah, I think it sure will, and that will be really, really big for Brian.
Down it goes.
And now with the Indeedee in, you can just go for Helping Hand, Expanding Forces, and Brandon doesn't really have a whole lot to answer that.
Yeah, and now Brandon's going to be a little bit of a weird spot, because once again, Trick Room's not up. Ursaluna comes in, so... I'm trying to think, because Expanding Force did not knock out the Ursaluna the first time around. Maybe with a Helping Hand it could do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the Helping Hand you add on, and I think... I don't know if you knock out both these Pokemon, but you certainly do quite a bit of damage to them. And...
Wait, oh, no, never mind. I had the wrong idea in mind, so, yeah, it's going to have to be Helping Hand, Expanding Force, maybe to knock out the Ursaluna. It probably won't knock out the Armarouge here, depending on how well it's trained. The Delphox has a lot of... He needs to go a lot of damage here. This Expanding Force will not knock out Ursaluna, but it will knock out the Armarouge.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd call that ideal, but it's pretty good.
Another Earthquake comes out. That's both times that Brandon was willing to take out his own Pokemon for Earthquake. And down goes Delphox. It's now a 2-on-2 with a low HP Ursaluna, full HP Indeedee, a mid HP Indeedee for Brian, and a Dragapult.
Yeah, and
Dragon Chair is still available.
Yeah.
However,
the thing is, yeah, you can't click Dragon Darts because
this Indeedee is Terra Fairy.
Yeah, Indeedee goes Terra Fairy, and then you just lose. And so, in actuality, this Indeedee damage actually kind of matters. But I think you do something dumb like spam out U-turns, even. I don't know. Because you need to get rid of this Ursaluna right now, realistically, because you do not want to give the Ursaluna an opportunity to get Brandon back into this game.
Yeah, and the thing is, this game comes down to whether or not Brandon Terras. Because if Brandon Terras, you have to go for Phantom Force. If he doesn't Terra, you gotta go Dragon Darts.
I mean, U-turn works against either, like, technically functions against either, and we're gonna
not if a Terra Fairy comes out for D&D, which Brian's...
It's not good, but it does damage.
Brian's goes first, and both these Indeedee are Terra Fairies, so Brian's is able to go first. Trying to look at this, Might Power of Dazzling Gleam, if anything. Brandon also Terras, but was it the Indeedee or was it the Ursaluna? And the final answer is the Indeedee.
Brutal. Looks like we're probably going to go to Game 3 then. Man, that would have been a nice read for Brandon to pick up on that, because, yeah, the Dragapult was in a pretty dangerous spot if that was the incorrect lock.
Phantom Force was the lock, so it won't be able to touch the Ursaluna, but that's Indeedee's job to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and frankly, the burn will knock out the Ursaluna.
It will knock out the Indeedee either, but... Thing is, if Brandon Trick Rooms, he wins. He Trick Rooms!
He does a Trick Room.
And the reason why I say he wins is that Indeedee's now wide open!
Yeah,
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I have one more turn,
Yeah, no, I don't think Brandon's going to be able to do this. Because Brandon has to knock out the Indeedee this turn.
Follow Me comes out.
The Follow Me comes through. It's going to be a question, does this Phantom Force knock out? I don't even think it matters. Ursaluna goes for the Facade into the Indeedee.
Yeah, knocks it out. It comes down to whether or not Phantom Force with the Choice Band is enough to knock out the Indeedee.
Yeah.
If it is, we're going to a Game 3. If it's not, Brandon wins the set. Phantom Force, not enough.
Not enough.
Ursaluna's going to have one more turn to do something. meaning the game is going to likely be over, and Brandon Davis will move on to the semifinal round. There's the forfeit! Brandon Davis! 2-0!
Yeah, that was crazy close margins there. Literally, probably pretty close to single-digit HP on the Ursaluna that decided that one.
Yeah, this is just uncharacteristic from Brian from past events, but congratulations for him to get the CP with unconventional Pokemon he had to work with. I mean, he's probably used some of these Pokemon in the past before, if I had to guess, but this is the first time that we've seen him go for the fast modes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's still... I've seen fast expanding force a little bit from him and from others, and there's also an Unburdened Sneasler on this team that we didn't end up seeing Unburdened with Psychic Seed, which we see a lot of the Grassy Seed. This one had the Psychic Seed. There were some interesting options that this team could have gone for that just didn't really work into this matchup, and it's something where we kind of seen, like, these players have ironed out this matchup a little bit off screen, and had kind of figured out where they were trying to go with this. So, I don't know. Interestingly played. Excited to see Brandon potentially in the finals if he's able to make it there.
Yeah, we have that going on. Well, I'll go ahead and update you on a little bit of brackets. So, one of our other matchups is Gale versus Abigail. Another one looks to be Jungshi versus Michael. Yeah. And then Geo and Angel is the last one. Yeah, Geo and Angel is the last one. So we'll get updates on those matchups as we get ready for our semifinal round coming after this break.